We're in Colorado.
Okay, so let's rewind here. So we're back. Sorry, you were trying to tell me some stuff off camera, and we just want to see how far you felt comfortable with. So, because Colorado has a traumatic event too, so I knew about one. I didn't. Now I'm finding out about a second one. So that's okay. So we'll dive in as much as you want to go. So you're in Aurora, Colorado. Before we go anywhere else, so tell me a little bit of where you want to go with that. So
I met a guy and we dated, and it was actually kind of weird because there was, well, I call it a cult now, and it wasn't, but it was a place where kind of like a counseling thing.
Okay.
So if you would go through these classes, and then they'd, break you down and then build you back up and all this, right? And so I had met this girl, and she was telling me all about it, and I thought, well, that'd probably be good for me, right?
Sure.
And so I thought, well, I'm going to try it. So you go to these classes, and it's like 6-8 weeks, and you go in the evenings and stuff, and all day Saturday, and like they have you write a letter to someone that wronged you, whatever your anger is, so like...
Yeah, they're doing a lot of inner reflection and self-counseling type stuff.
And then
I
you
get
beat
it.
up the chair, things like that. Anyway, so I met a guy there, and we dated, and he was a plumber. I thought a nice guy, and he had gone through the class that we met there.
Yeah. So he's going through it, and you feel like he's probably dealt with whatever he's dealing with, and you've dealt with yours.
So we're good. Yeah, we're not. And so he hid his drinking from me. The last part of law school, you can't work because you have to, go and volunteer for a judge and do all these kind of things, and I'm working up to being able to do that, with all these kids,
Right, yeah, 4 kids,
and stuff. And him and I had been dating for a while, and then he, suggested, us moving in together, and, it's a natural progression, I guess. And boy, I was moving in, and I knew day one, this is a mistake, but I didn't know how to go backwards, I guess,
Yeah, sure.
And
that makes sense. I mean, you're also kind of feeling this pressure of law school, right? I mean, you don't really feel like you have as many options. You don't got a dad or mom that you can fall back on. We've already learned that. So I made spaghetti, and he passed out in his spaghetti, and from drinking, and I was like, God, I didn't even know you drank like this. I mean, I think sometimes we see what we want to see, That's a fair assessment.
I probably didn't want to see that, I wanted something good like that. Anyway, so I was going to leave about a month in, and he beat me. So I was scared to leave. So this went on for a while, and then he beat me really bad.
Yeah.
And he hit me with Texanne Jr. in my arms, and so I got away, and I called the police and everything, and they were going to go get him because he knocked my teeth out, and I was beat up bad. And when they went to go get him, he barricaded himself in the house, and he had guns, and he took everything I owned and cut it in two with a hunting knife. And he cut the heart out of all my bras and my shirts, and he cut up every belt. Anything that I owned.
Is he an alcohol? Is he drunk at this point, or is he just goes in his fit full of rage? probably rage.
Sometimes he wasn't drunk when he would do it. He was just
An angry person.
very.
Okay.
And so it took them hours to talk him down. Like, he barricaded the doors and all that. So when they finally got in and took him to jail, all my stuff was, ruined.
Right.
The criminal psychologist said that he had to sit there for 8 hours to do what he had done and stuff, and so he was in jail, and I took my savings and got a place to live, like, where he wouldn't know. And but back then they really didn't protect you, So
I don't know if they really protect you today.
Yeah.
I think most of it's
it's a little bit better than
get it.
I went through.
Yeah, but I mean,
A restraining order is
yeah, restraining order.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's about all they can do, and that, as you just said, there's not a whole lot that does. I mean, by the time that's it can be implied, the damage is done.
right. So he they let him out, and then he cut my brake lines when I was at work, and he's always trying to kill me, cut my brake lines, or trying to do
He's
something.
become psychotic. He's
Stalking me.
Wow.
and everything. So I tell, so they arrest him again, and so they put him on an ankle bracelet, and he found me again, and he'd tell me, I'll get this ankle bracelet off, and I'll come over and kill you and get back here before they even know it. I believe that's true,
Well, certainly he's beat you at the point. I mean, if he's knocked teeth out of your mouth, there's a reason you got to be scared.
Yeah, the black eyes were so bad that, like, 3 weeks later, they were, like, running. The bruises were, like, coming down my face. I mean, it was bad. So he told the ankle monitor place that he was moving and gave him my address. And so I came home from work and had the kids, from daycare and all that, and come in, and he's in my house, plugged in to my phone line with a gun. And he held us for 4 days, and I convinced him, I would be with him, and but the kids can't stay and not go to school, and stuff like that. He had to let me go to work. I was going to start wondering where they are, and they're going to come, and it took 4 days to convince him, but he believed me finally. And so when we got out of the house, I ran straight to the police, and they went to my house and they arrested him. And I went to his court date, and they weren't doing anything to him. And I didn't even realize it, but I stood up in the middle of the court and I said, "You're not going to be satisfied until he kills me." And I ran out of the court. And they must have stopped the court because the district attorney ran after me. And so I started telling her, because she pushed me in a vacant courtroom. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "He's cut my brake lines, he's beat me, he's held me at gunpoint, all this." But because it happened in different counties, when he would go to court, they wouldn't run him on other ones, And so nothing was happening to him. And his father was an FBI agent, so he was always helping get him out of trouble, And so she had a guard come and guard me in the courtroom, and then she went back in there and asked to approach, I guess, and she told me that she told the judge, and so the judge held him on $1 million bond, and then they made him go to every county, and they did the $500,000 bond in all the different counties and stuff, and then because his dad had helped him find me and do all that, and they were going to try and get his father for that, and he had literally tried to kill me. They were talking to me about witness protection, because they knew that if he got out, he would kill me. And so I didn't want to give up everything and go to Wichita with Toto, and work in a 7-Eleven. So I did it on my terms, My daughter wanted to go to UNLV, when she got for college and stuff. And her biological mother lived in Vegas, and he didn't know that or anything. And so they changed my name, and then we left.
So you have a new name and a new location. Hey, thanks for watching this short with us today. And if you like it, check out our full episodes on our channel and website. We'll put those in the links below. And as always, Scott,
like and subscribe, or subscribe and then like, whatever order you want, really.
Whatever order you like.
Yeah.
Thanks.